What's going on, my trainer club? Today I'm going to give you my top Pokemon that I would suggest stacking up on in mass quantities to do trades to try to get luckies, and I'm also going to sneak in a couple of PvP IVs in there for you too. So welcome to the trainer club. Here we go! Welcome back, everybody. Let me know in the comments below, how are you doing with this event so far? Honestly, I was not expecting this event to be so lit right now, but there are so many amazing shinies. There's a lot of really good second tier evolutions, and there's some really great Pokemon that we can utilize for the community day that's coming up and for the mass trades to make sure we get good ones, to make sure we have influential Pokemon to play with, right? So those are gonna be my main focus. My number one is gonna be which Pokemon are you gonna stock up on in mass quantities, and then you're gonna trade in mass quantities. And the reason why we trade in mass quantities is because if you continuously trade, let's take for example the Swinub, which is the top ice attacker in the game, and you keep trading Swinubs for Swinubs, this is going to be a really good way to get consistent lucky Pokemon, because you're going to trade in mass quantities. Doesn't always work out, but it's definitely something that's helped me get a lot of luckies of a specific type of Pokemon, which means you have to be conscious, know what you're stacking up on, and then trade with intention of doing a lot of trades. Number two, I'm going to sneak in a couple of PvP IVs so that you guys can max out for community day and everything else that you might need. And then number three, I am going to give you another Stardust tip, which comes that I wasn't able to get into the last video because, my gosh, that video was pretty long and I still have more information to tell you guys. So we're gonna do a short, quick video coming at you right now. But before we do so, I wanna make sure you guys know, go to my Twitter at the Trainer Club with 2 B's to make sure you enter to win one of my camo hoodies. So go over there, enter, retweet, and you're gonna be entered as long as you're following me on Twitter. So do that, and if you want, thetrainerclub.com is where you get my camo hoodies up until next Wednesday. So let's get into it right now. My top Pokemon that you are going to want to stock up in mass quantities to trade. Number one is going to be Roselia. Roselia is going to be the top grass attacker in the game when it turns into Roserade, so definitely a Pokemon you want to stack up quite plentiful on and to trade as much as possible. Number two is going to be Swinub. Swinub is going to be the top ice attacker in the game, so stock up on as many Swinubs as you can and trade. Another one thing that I will point out that I've mentioned before, but if you haven't heard me say this, I would probably have one Mamoswine with the ancient power, but the other ones don't necessarily need to. Like, I wouldn't go gung-ho and start unlocking a bunch of second charge moves just to maintain that move, because it's not super crazy amazing. As of right now, it doesn't say that at some point it could get buffed in the near future, but as of right now, it's definitely useful for PvP when you're using it against bosses, but right now, it's not the most useful move. Next, I'm gonna recommend that you guys catch as many as possible of the Electabuzz. Electabuzz isn't super common right now. However, it is definitely a good Pokemon. It sits in the top electric Pokemon in the game. Definitely not number one, but it is definitely high up there. Definitely something that you guys want to stock up on, trade as many as possible. Whenever you see it, make sure to Pinap it, because it's definitely a rarer Pokemon in general. And then my last of the top 4, which are going to be the most impactful, I'm going to give you some other ones that are also useful, is going to be the Magnemite. Magnemite to Magneton to Magnezone is going to be one of the top electric attackers in the game as well, and it also is a steel electric combination, so it has quite a unique amount of resistances when you're able to use it. And Ralts is up there. It is going to be the top 2 fairy attackers as Gardevoir. Gardevoir is going to be the second best fairy attacker, so it's definitely a Pokemon that you can trade to get the Charm and the Dazzling Gleam. However, Synchronoise is only going to be useful in PvP, but if you do so happen to want to have it, you can definitely do so. Some other notable ones that are not maybe the top 3 to 5, but are definitely impactful Pokemon are going to be Sneasel. And I slightly left the Sneasel out, even though it is the top couple ice attackers in the game, because the Weavile is just a little bit glassy and the Mamoswine is so much more dominant. That's why I say that, like, just focus on the Swinubs. They're so prevalent. They're commonly weather boosted in the sunny weather as well, so it's a great one to go after. The next, you can use the Dragonairs, and the Dragonairs are out there. However, the Dragonair, if you want to get the Draco Meteor, you can, but Outrage is actually a better moveset, and I wouldn't suggest TMing it to have Draco Meteor and to have Outrage to have a double Dragon move for extra Stardust. Doesn't really make too much sense for me. And the last 3 are going to be Magmar. Magmar is a pretty cool Pokemon. Magmortar, not like the top fire attackers, but definitely a pretty cool, and it's going to be rarer and rarer as newer gens come out, because it's already a rare Gen 1 Pokemon. Then we have Onix. Onix as Steelix can be a semi-useful. It's a little bit more useful in PvP, but it does get a couple of unique movesets that can make it pretty good. So now we're gonna switch gears. I'm gonna give you a quick strategy before we go into the PvP IVs, which is going to be, there are a lot of Lairons out. There are some Dragonairs out. There are some Golbats out, and there are some Haunters out. Make sure to get out there. Whenever you see one of these guys, you must catch it because it is boosted Stardust. So do not forget that the second tier evolutions are gonna give you 300 Stardust, and the third tier are gonna give you 500 Stardust. If they're weather boosted and if you have a star piece on, it's going to increase that significantly. So those Pokemon are amazing to catch. Number one, by hand, because they're kind of finicky and they can run quite frequently from any of the auto catchers. Number two, you just want to have the dust. So make sure to potentially use the golden berry if you have a surplus of them, or you could even use a regular berry on it, a red raspberry, to make sure to catch it and use a great ball, but try to save up as many of your ultra balls for the community day like I talked about. I'm looking to get to around 600 to 700 by that time. So that's a really effective strategy. Catch as many of those second evolutions as you possibly can. Get into a downtown area with the 1 hour lures and use this event to Stardust maximize, especially during this raid day. I'm assuming a lot of these lures are going to be lured up during the raid day because they have 1 hour on them. So it's not as tedious to keep luring these. You drop one lure, 1 hour, you do 3 lures, and you have that lure lured for the entire 3 hour raid day. So not only can you catch a lot of Pokemon, maybe consider using a star piece, but it's also a great time to stack up on any of these rares and the second evolutions that give you an even more boosted Stardust. So now I'm gonna give you the top PvP IVs coming for Community Day and for Pokemon that you may want to catch right now. There's a couple of them that are impactful for this event, so let's check out the IVs right now. For the Umbreon, we are going to need Snarl and Foul Play, so we're going to need to be catching EVs. It's ranked 21 and it needs to have the last resort, right? So the best 100% IV for the PvP is going to be 0-15-15 at level 27.5. So you're going to be looking out for the EVs, as many as you possibly can. If you want to pause here and check out any of the other different IV spreads, you can definitely do so. And then the next, we're going to check out the Steelix, which is actually in 53 spot with Dragon Tail, Crunch, and Earthquake. Pretty beast Pokemon, so you're going to be looking out there for the Onix. The 100% IV is going to be 0-14-15 at level 24. Next, we're going to check out the Wormadam, which is going to be the Trash Burmy, which is the red Burmy. It's going to have to be a female, and it is going to be with Bug Bite, Iron Head, and Bug Buzz. And that's going to be at the rank of 55, which the 100% IV is going to be 0-15-15. Next, we're going to have the Politoed, rank 57 with Mudshot, Surf, and Earthquake. So it looks like Earthquake may be a legacy moveset, which is going to be a 0-15-11, 23.5. So you're going to be looking out there for the Poliwags, and then you're going to have to use an item to get it there. And then finally, we have the Gardevoir. Gardevoir is going to be ranked 105 with Charm, Synchronoise, which is going to be the Community Day move. So if you have a Ralts that we get under these PvP IVs that we say in a second, you're going to have to save it, and it's going to have Shadow Ball, which is a pretty unique combination. 100% IV is going to be 0-15-15 at 18. So those are my top 3 strategies. Number 1, make sure to stack up on as many of those Pokemon that are going to be meta relevant for attackers in the game. Number 2, get out there and grind the Stardust, catch those second evolutions, as many as you possibly can. And then number 3, you want to be out there grinding the PvP. If you are a PvP player, I know not all of us are, some of us are looking to be, but you can get a lot of really good. And the reason why we're looking for the 0 attack and the high defense and stamina is because attack has a big weight into the overall combat power, which is referred to as CP. So if we were to have a 15 attack on a Pokemon that maxes over 1500, let's say about 2000, it's going to be at, let's say, maybe a level 30. But if you can bring down the attack, and then you can keep the defense and stamina nice and high, you can take that level 30 all the way up until maybe like level 33 or 34. So it's going to have higher defense and stamina, and the moveset combination is really going to be what delivers the bulk of the attack in PvP, matching up on those movesets and doing the best. So for me, when I look at this, I see the 0-15-15, and I might be like, I would rather have the rank 4 or 5 with the 1, because for me, I think that the attack, I know that that says 0, but for me, it just seems like a little bit better of an idea to go with a 1 attack, just because it might do just a little bit more damage in the long run if I'm going at a 1-to-1 ratio with a non-effective versus non-effective Pokemon. So that's where we're at, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys are grinding. Definitely let me know in the comments below what your shinies are looking like. I have already got myself a shiny Onix, so super hyped on that. Appreciate you guys. Can't wait to see you guys out on Saturday. We're going to be doing a vlog. We're going to try to get as many shinies as we can, and we're going to do some raids. So appreciate you guys. Thank you to all my likers, commenters, subscribers, and Patreon members for taking their subscriptions to the next level. I'm gonna see you guys out on the next video. Peace! I just want to take a moment and sincerely thank all of my Patreon members, everybody that has taken their subscription to the next level and chosen to support me on this platform. I greatly appreciate you guys. As a growing channel and really trying to grow and improve as much as I possibly can, I really appreciate the extra support. You guys mean the absolute world to me. I cannot wait to connect with you soon, and I appreciate you guys all for being a part of the Trainer Club. I will see you guys out on the next video.